Hello everyone, this is Lin, and this video is a brief summary of my BPhil honor thesis completed at the University of Pittsburgh. My research is a comparative analysis of sustainable architecture in Beijing and Pittsburgh. The discussion around sustainability have grown in importance over the past 20 years. The most recently is the United Nations climate change in Paris, where the two biggest countries, US and China, pledged to reduce their greenhouse emissions dramatically. But what can architecture actually contribute to sustainability programs all over the world? A lot of it turns out. In the United States, architecture consumes 48% of the total energy resources, as opposed to the transportation sector, which only accounts for 27% of energy consumption. By carefully designing sustainable architecture, we can therefore make a significant impact on our planet's non-renewable energy resources. In the coming years, effort made by US and China towards sustainability will be the key for the success of global environmental improvement. My research look at how contemporary architecture in these two countries are responding to the challenge of sustainability. I also choose to compare buildings in Beijing and Pittsburgh, as these two cities are on the same latitude and therefore share similar climates. The average winter temperature are 35 Fahrenheit for both Beijing and Pittsburgh, with temperatures reaching a low of 25 Fahrenheit for Beijing and 20 for Pittsburgh. The average summer temperature is 75 Fahrenheit for both Beijing and Pittsburgh, with temperatures reaching a high of 81 Fahrenheit for Beijing and 80 for Pittsburgh. Both cities either were or are heavily industrial cities, so they are facing similar challenges regarding air pollution and other environmental problems. Thus, looking at these two cities' sustainable architecture can be very useful to understand these two countries' approaches towards sustainable solutions, as well as to be used as toolkits for other countries to shift their sustainable focus. The tower at PNC Plaza in Pittsburgh and the Parkview Green Mall in Beijing are the two recent green buildings, which are representing the highest standard of sustainable architecture in US and China. Parkview Green Mall is the first LEED Platinum certified building in China, while the tower at PNC Plaza received a sustainability rating that went even beyond the LEED Platinum certification. In order to understand sustainability measurement, let us first look at the two standards that has been widely used in each country. LEED in the US stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, and GB in China stands for Assessment Standard for Green Buildings, are two very different standards. The US LEED rating system was established in 1993 by architects, manufacturers, and policymakers. It is not a governmentally mandated or managed system. LEED has 4 different levels: certificate, silver, gold, and platinum, with scores from 0 to 100. People can get points from 8 categories, which are location and transportation, sustainable size, water efficiency, energy and atmosphere, material and resources, indoor air quality, innovation, and regional priority. However, these 8 categories are weighted differently. From energy and atmosphere, location and transportation, and indoor environmental quality, the 3 categories, a building design can earn up to 65 points, which is already a gold level. These 3 categories are more responsive to climate and energy issues, while the other categories are designed to make an environmental-friendly area. LEED is an aspirational status rather than a policy-regulated requirement. Architects will often encourage their clients to pursue a better living environment and long-term saving by applying the LEED system to their buildings. There are some reasons that LEED attempts so many architects and clients to put more money into their projects. Similar to LEED system, GB has 3 different levels of stars to represent the levels of sustainable architecture. In contrast to LEED, however, GB is a government-mandated sustainable program. All buildings in China have to correspond to the minimum GB rating of sustainability. In another word, in order to get the star certified through the GB system, all the buildings in China have to fulfill GB's minimum required first before they apply to the star system. What is special of GB is that each province have its own GB system that respond to the local climate. Standard also varies based on the building types. Because of the GB's restriction on architectural design, a lot of Chinese architects treat sustainability as a problem to solve simply in order to pass the GB standard. Meanwhile, those Chinese developers and architects who truly committed to sustainable design are bypassing the GB rating and go straight for the LEED certification, as the latter allows for more innovative design. Looking at the Parkview Green Mall and PNC Tower, there are 4 major categories that I want to discuss in this video, which is their interpretation of sustainable communities, sustainable foci, central ventilation system, and multifunctional spaces. Both architects of PNC Tower and Parkview Green Mall share similar design attitudes in terms of human contact and use. Good architectural design is not just about insulated building, but how design carefully build a relationship between a single building, its community of users, and the city. The architects of PNC Tower pulled back from the property line to provide a larger public space in the busy downtown area of Pittsburgh. People in the downtown Pittsburgh can come to this community space to interact with PNC Tower more by looking and even walking inside of the building, encouraging the urban community's interaction with a green building that has surpassed the LEED certificate ratings, also increases awareness regarding sustainability. In a similar response to community, the architect of Parkview Green Mall designed a bridge penetrating into the mall, connecting 2 places in the community, served as an actual entrance as well, to provide a convenience for the people in the community who will not use the building for shopping nor working. With the bridge, people can save more time daily from staying outside in the extreme weather. Besides convenience, the bridge also have a lot of sculpture, which make it more attractive space to be in and also provides a comfortable experience for people as they walk their way out. Like the PNC Tower, as more people are exposed to green design that is also aesthetically advanced, the more awareness can be built for sustainable issues. The architects of PNC Tower and Parkview Green Mall understood sustainability from the ecological, social, and ecological aspect, which is what I truly believe defines good sustainable architecture. The PNC top 3 rating in the LEED system are energy and atmosphere, material and resources, and indoor environmental quality. Parkview Green Mall's top 3 ratings in the LEED system are energy and atmosphere, sustainable site, and indoor environmental qualities. Thus, we can tell that for these 2 buildings, energy saving and indoor air quality are the most important components of sustainability. The reason that they have differences between the material and the sustainable site are that PNC Tower installed a lot of recycled and local materials for the furniture. In contrast, Parkview Green Mall have larger public spaces and open spaces which preserve a more sustainable sites. Central ventilation system is the major sustainable strategy that was applied to both buildings. It is designed to bring as much as fresh air into the building to cool them during the summer and other technologies to heat the building during the winter. Both buildings also use multiple layered facade or roof that functions like breathable skins to preserve energy in the building. For its ventilation system, the PNC Tower uses a solar chimney, double skin facade, and active chill bin for the air circulation. During the spring or autumn, cool air is drawn from the outside of the building, passes through the air filters, and it travels across the lower part of the office. Furniture is raised up on feet to allow the cool air to circulate without obstruction. Hot air from the office is directed into the central shaft and towards to the solar chimney. When the sun hits the solar pad on the roof, the chimney becomes warm and creates a natural vacuum by which air in the shaft is drawn upward. The result is a looped air current that constantly draws fresh air from the outside and circulates it through the building. Active chill bin is used only in the summer to cool the hot air. In the winter, the building relies on radiant heat in the ceiling and floors to heat the air. The fresh air in the active chill bin will be mixed with the interior air to keep the working area fresh and provide moderate temperature for people working inside. Due to these systems, the PNC Tower can rely on natural ventilation without dependence on artificial heating or cooling for 42% of the year. Parkview Green Mall has 4 different functions, separated into blocks, which are covered by a huge glass envelope. The exterior envelope is treated like human skin to cover the different functional building inside. The gap between the glass envelope and the inside buildings is the perfect insulator to preserve the energy inside of the building. It is also a solar chimney for ventilation that works like the one in PNC Tower. The building uses the innovative material ETFE, which is highly transparent with the energy, so that exhibits a high energy radiant resistance and can withstand moderately high temperatures for a long period of time. Also, in place of PNC Tower solar pad, Parkview Green Mall has an indoor garden on the top of the building. When the sun heats the garden, it will draw all the hot air inside of the shafts out of the building. Meanwhile, the plants convert the carbon dioxide withdraws inside of the garden and release oxygen back inside of the building. Due to the urban complexity in the modern society, more people want to meet their needs in the limited area. The architects of PNC Tower and Parkview Green Mall use the idea of multifunctional spaces in an innovative way to achieve this goal. The target community in the PNC Tower are PNC's employees. They use the building during their work hours, which are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. In order to create a more collaborative and inspiration working space, PNC Tower's architect designed several community areas with kitchens. These kitchens may be accessed by persons from different departments, thus fostering community spirit and collaboration. They also have a larger community space, which is an indoor garden on the 28th floor in the PNC Tower. Good day indicator signals when air quality is right, so that employees can open the sliding doors to step out on the catwalk that goes between the 2 layers of facade to increase the quality of life in the building. In contrast, on the same community of users who occupy the PNC Tower, there will be relatively different groups of people in Parkview Green Mall every day. In addition to the Parkview Green Mall's 4 major functions, gallery, mall, office, and hotel, the architect Wen-Ting Shu add components such as the art installation, an indoor garden, and the bridge to diversify the experience for visitors. The key concept of multifunctional spaces is to create a more dynamic experience by mimicking human behaviors inside a building, with the consideration of duration, purpose, and target group of people, rather than adding more and more functions in the limited areas. What I really want to address in this video is that sustainable architecture should never be solely about energy saving or resource management, but equally consider 3 different aspects of sustainability. The ecological aspect, which relates to the climate and environment, the social aspect, which relates to the communities, and the economic aspect, which ensures the architects and developers receive incentives for green design. New technologies such as PNC Tower's double skin facade and Parkview Green Mall's ETFE material are important and efficient solutions for climate issues. But sustainable architecture should also inspire those who come into contact with them to make sustainable choices on an everyday basis. Buildings like PNC Tower and Parkview Green Mall show that sustainable architecture can impact environmental issues for the better, while increasing the quality of life for their users and communities. One or even hundreds of green buildings can help very little towards climate problems. Changes can only come when all stakeholders commit equally and strongly to sustainable lifestyles and practice in every aspect.